It may have been banned in arenas, but do you think it should have? The Railgun was deemed by the community to be one of the most overpowered weapons the game has ever seen, but was it really that strong? Butcher Crunch, tell me where you at, your motivation guy. That's right, guys, I am back. And today, we're gonna be taking a deep dive on some of the most powerful strats for the Railgun. You know, its pros, its cons, and whether it should have been removed from arenas in the first place. You guys ready for this? Let's get this going. The new Railgun can be found all over the map. However, it seems to be the most common in areas that are heavily occupied by the Imagined Order. You know, you can pick up the weapon from the new henchman chests and POIs like the Corny Complex and the satellite stations, or more rarely by eliminating IO guards. This weapon can be found in rare, epic, and legendary variants, and each will do massive amounts of damage to players and structures alike. And so while the Railgun is a sniper rifle class of a weapon, only usable with heavy bullets, it can do so much more than the bolt action sniper rifle and has become incredibly overpowered as a result of that. This weapon is unique in Fortnite and is able to destroy and pierce straight through enemy builds and other structures in a single shot. If you're able to see a player behind a structure and then line up your shot accurately, you can actually destroy a build and deal damage to the player behind it in a single shot. That's crazy. You know, being able to deal damage in this way is just, it's just a strong way to engage a fight, allowing you to catch other players off guard and giving you a massive advantage straight away. You know, this might not sound too strong on its own, but like when you combine it with the new recon dart, things start to get a little bit silly, all right? Like for a perfect combo, you can shoot a recon dart out to just where someone is building or boxed up so you can just see exactly what they're doing, exactly where they are. You could just then simply just charge up your railgun shot and just snipe them straight through walls without any difficulty whatsoever. So this gets even more broken, man, if you're in a game of trios where one person can shoot the recon bolt shot and then the other two members of your team can just time their shots at the exact same second, allowing you to eliminate an enemy player instantly even though they're boxed up. Okay, so if you want to learn exactly how to game and just keep an advantage with weapons like the Railgun in Fortnite, then you have to go on over to ProGuides.com. We've got some of the best coaches in the game, ready and waiting to teach you exactly how to play Fortnite to the best of your abilities. Honestly, the recon dart being added to the game alongside the Railgun might be the biggest balance mistake that Epic Games have made since the addition of the Brute way back in Chapter 1 Season 10. If used correctly, the combination can be completely brutal. If you manage to use your recon dart and, then notice that a player is in a house or a floor above you in one of the Lazy Leg or Bony Bird skyscrapers, and then you manage to line your shot up just right, well, you could do some serious surprise damage or even knock them out entirely, man. Like having these two weapons during an off-spawn fight will more than likely ensure the victory immediately of the player with these weapons. This isn't the only trick that we've learned to use while you have the Railgun in your inventory either. If you position yourself so that you're standing right above an enemy player's box and then fully charge up the Railgun, you can actually manage to exploit straight into another person's box. Like this is an incredibly quick and very effective way to end fights or even to catch a player off guard. As not so many people are currently aware that you're able to use the Railgun in this way. So to do this exploit trick, simply just get on top of the enemy's box and charge your Railgun shot up and just let it loose so you can get dropped down into the player's box. From there, you can simply place a ramp for the piece control in case your opponent tries to somehow react to the play, or just simply go for the pump shot and just get some immediate damage off, which will probably eliminate the enemy if you're lucky enough. The Railgun is basically a better version of the Heavy Sniper, which has been in the vault for a while and was an all-time Fortnite fan favorite while it was out. Okay, so if you stand up in front of a player's wall, their ramp or their cone, you can destroy it pretty quickly, right? And with a single shot. In fact, you can even break a wall and a ramp if you miss a player inside, meaning you can just quickly infiltrate the box and piece control your enemy just after firing a single Railgun shot. This is a seriously effective way that you can make while trying to engage in fights or prevent players from escaping in a box to heal. Another trick that you can do, guys, which is very simple and easy to perform, is if, a player is trying to get away from you by constantly reboxing away from you. You could just drop down underneath their box, charge up your Railgun, and then eliminate the player if they don't have a cone placed in their box. It's an incredibly simple play, but also incredibly effective since most players don't expect their floor to be just shot through in a single blast. Since the Railgun works just like a heavy sniper and can just one-shot walls, there's a pretty crazy combo move that you can use to deal massive amounts of damage to a player in mere seconds. If you were to stand 70 meters away from a player's box and then shoot an RPG rocket toward the box, you can fully charge up and just then fire your Railgun. If you do this correctly, guys, the Railgun shot will destroy your opponent's wall at the exact moment that your RPG passes through it, allowing the RPG then to just get into the opponent's box and deal some serious damage to your enemy. This method can seriously catch opponents off guard, for real. And since the Railgun itself will also deal damage if you aim it correctly, the amount of damage that you manage to deal might actually be enough to just straight up eliminate the player. Now, of course, this is a pretty precise combination of items that you need to have to make this work, but the fact it works at all is pretty insane.
All right, bunch of course, it's time for the question of the day. Okay, so today we want to know what your opinions are on the Railgun. Like, do you think it's seriously overpowered, or do you think it's just the right amount of fun? Let us know in the comments down below. We're gonna check it out, and I can't wait to see it. Back to the video.
While the Railgun is certainly an overpowered weapon in Fortnite at the moment, we're not saying that it's all good. One of the few downsides with the Railgun is that, unlike the classic bolt action sniper that is also in this season, we weren't actually given a sniper crosshair to use with this weapon. This means that, unlike with a traditional sniper rifle, you can't actually aim down your sights and just zoom in to a very close level, which of course will make hitting shots at range a little bit harder. The Railgun's unique scope sight may take players a little while to really become comfortable with, and longer range situations may in fact be completely outclassed by the bolt action and its one-shot headshot capabilities. But on the other hand, man, an incredibly good thing about the Railgun is that you can actually use this sniper without aiming in. Before you shoot the main shot of the Railgun, you're going to be able to see exactly where your shot is going to go with the tracking beam that it projects before the shot is actually fired. Wherever you choose to aim, the beam will head in that direction without any issues at all, right? My goodness. This is a pretty good thing because it means that you can quickly line up your shot and then shoot without actually having to aim at all. You don't even have to worry about bloom in this situation, which would result in you missing your chance at hitting a similar shot with a normal bolt action sniper rifle. The downside to all of this though, obviously, charging it up actually takes a decent amount of time. Sure, you're going to be faster at just locking to a target at mid-range than if you had a normal bolt action sniper rifle, but while you're charging up that shot, the enemy player that you're focusing on might notice the red beam and then manage to just get into a safe place where your shot simply can't hit them, meaning that you've missed out on a potential elimination and might even end up getting eliminated in return when the player turns on you. Okay, so do those few cons outweigh the overwhelming pros of this weapon? Well, the competitive side of the Fortnite community definitely doesn't think so. Comp players and pros have tried out the Railgun and really aren't very happy with Epic's decision to have it in competitive playlists and possible tournaments in the near future. Players complain that the gun is broken, and being able to not just destroy builds in a single shot, but just shoot through them and just deal damage anyway, it's just incredibly unfair, and also against the spirit of Fortnite's building as a whole. Basically, they say it's just unfair and it's just a ridiculous thing to really add into a competitive game. I can see, where they're coming from, getting shot through solid builds or even in a building when I'm looting due to the recon bolt exploit would be seriously annoying, right? So I guess I can see where the pro players are definitely coming from.
Pros wanted the Railgun to either be nerfed so that you could just no longer die through walls, or if that wasn't possible, for it to be removed from all competitive playlists and tournaments. Obviously, the latter was what ended up happening, and while the Railgun did take skill to aim, this was probably a net positive for the health of the season's balance as a whole. Alright guys, so those were some of the biggest ways that we know how to use the Railgun, and a little bit of discussion on how overpowered the gun really is. The Railgun is definitely the big divisive issue right now in the season. It really just seems like the competitive community won't be happy until there's some big changes made. Hey, if you guys liked the video, make sure you sub to the channel and connect with me on my Instagram at Your Motivation Guy, man. I am the one that believes in you. I am your #1 fan. That is the truth. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.